My apologies for my disheveled voice. I caught a bad cold, and unfortunately it has not skipped my vocal cords. Anyway, back to the color of the sky. With a mix of cerulean blue and titanium white, I paint the sky lighter, especially directly above the clouds. You might wonder if I still know what I'm doing, and I don't blame you, 'cause I often wonder myself. But in this case I would like to say, behold the magic of glazing. When I spread the paint over the surface with my thumb, you can see the underlying shapes appear again. This layer initially seems way too blue, but after treatment with the stipple brush and the badger hair fan brush, it results in a blue cast, which makes the cloud look a lot more like a real cloud. Perhaps, now that the shadow of the clouds above the dunes has become more blue, I can exploit the warm-cold contrast even more. In the reference photo, a wind-blown cloud can be seen in the upper left corner. To connect that part of the sky with the rest of the painting, I do the rough shape of the cloud with brilliant yellow and titanium white. The shape of the cloud has become too closed, so I remove the paint here and there. I don't know. To end the day on a more positive note, I decide to paint a few details that are always sure to make a cloud more lifelike. The sunlight barely touching the top of a dark cloud. The creamy highlights on the bulges of the cloud. And a few pieces of cotton wool drifting away from the mother cloud. Ah well, it's one of those days. Maybe you're familiar with this. You're at the stage where you've come a long way, but the painting still isn't what you expected and you don't exactly know what's wrong with it. In cases like this, I usually decide to just try something. Anything. The cloud. Maybe it's the shape of the cloud. Let me change that and see what happens. And while we're at it, let's get rid of that annoying little cloud too. Did I make any progress today? This is what the painting looked like when I started this morning, and this is what it looks like now. Let me sleep on it. I'll give you an answer in the morning. Unfortunately, the answer still hasn't revealed itself, so I decide to focus on other things and then see what happens. Ignore the problem. That's my strategy for now. I turn my attention to the dunes. I'm using strongly diluted olive green to adjust the shadows of the dune vegetation. Deepening the shadows has at least as much influence on the sense of light as lining up the exposed parts. For the sake of clarity, I'll show you the difference between the current stage and this morning's. As if someone were flicking a light switch. I definitely made some progress today. Though it hasn't solved the problem, I think I know what I need to do. Work on the contrasts in the upper part of the central cloud. The central cloud doesn't have enough body, so I'm going to try to give it some more volume by increasing the light-dark contrast. I did succeed in my attempt to make the clouds more voluminous. Did it also result in a better painting? I don't know, to be honest. The hazy clouds from the previous stage had something appealing too. Unfortunately, there is no Control Z to go back to the previous stage. I'll probably end up somewhere in the middle. Today I'm gonna continue my cloud struggle with renewed courage. I figured that the shape and light of the top of the central cloud should more powerfully radiate the feeling that it's still growing and bulging. So I change its shape into a more convex one with a mixture of brilliant yellow and a bit of sepia. As usual, I start with a mid-tone, and from there I'll move to the shadows and the highlights. The left side of the cloud also gets an extra bulge. I'm driving myself crazy sometimes. This constant removing and then partially replacing of shapes. Can't that just be done right in one go, sir? Well, apparently not. I do the first layer of highlights with a mixture of brilliant yellow, titanium white and a bit of vermilion red. There will be an even lighter layer on top of it later. Cadmium yellow is kinda my last resort when it comes to painting highlights. Like I said before, it's quite a dominant color and you want to go easy on it. A little too much and it's the only color you'll notice. In this video, as in earlier ones, you have heard me go on and on about the importance of avoiding sharp edges when painting clouds. But now, you are witnessing me breaking my own rules. There are exceptional situations where it does produce a good result. For example, in the case of the silver linings in a backlit cloud, or when, as in this case, a small part of a cloud is strongly lit. Don't ask me how, but it works, especially with a mix of magenta and a bit of titanium white. I have to be honest and say that I did soften the lines with my rag. They made the cloud look a little like a cartoon cloud. Now we're getting somewhere. When talking about the contrast in the clouds at the end of day 10, I said I'll probably end up somewhere in the middle, and that's exactly what I'll try to achieve today. I'm applying another glaze with a mix of brilliant yellow, indigo, a little sepia and a lot of liquid light gel. Next, of course, the stipple brush. And the makeup brush. Same procedure for the top of the clouds. The lower part of the dunes, actually the beach, does not yet participate in the whole. By painting a blue border there, I hope the connection with the sky is made. The color of the water is a bit too cold, which makes it stand out from the rest. That's why I'm painting a glaze of heavily diluted burnt sienna over it. This creates a warm cast over the water and the foam, connecting it to the rest of the painting. Despite it has been a struggle at times, I enjoyed working on the painting, and that's what matters.